It's late, but I couldn't find my phone. I didn't see you this morning. You okay? Wait, wait
Man.
1 second. Okay, good evening. We have gone live. This is a podcast, a live podcast brought to you by Bob and Danielle, your host tonight, to talk about how to fight CPS and stop taking our children. It's very, very important there. So, I first want to thank Grace, who's anxiously working behind the scenes and for all she does. Thank you, Grace. We'll talk about you in a few minutes. She's our producer and she works really hard.
Very good woman.
Yeah. Let me get some of these enemies out of the way and get this done so that we start getting all these calls. Won't be sidetracked here. Danielle and I are real people. We have real CPS cases. We've been through it for a long time. I've been 14 years. Danielle, how long you been, you think?
Since November 2022. So like the real deal
Yeah.
with them.
But her case different.
year
So
and a
is
half.
mine. I know that you guys are listening are probably different. But what we're talking about is the child protection system. I call it CPS because every state's going to have different acronyms about their child protection system. So when I say CPS, I'm talking about the government agency that has been around since colonial days. They have 3 periods of history, and maybe we'll have time to talk about it. But they are required by Congress, federal mandate, to protect our children from neglect and abuse and do family reunification. But what has happened now, CPS no longer does family reunification and they steal our children. They traffic our children. They're professional traffickers. I don't know how else to explain to you that they're the worst thing you ever came across. And so hopefully we'll go ahead and try our best to work you through the questions and answers and so forth. There are 3 ways to interact with this podcast. The first way is to text a message in and state your name and the city and state and country. You probably say, why country? Because this is broadcast around the world. It's found on Facebook, Fight CPS, but anybody can listen to it. And I welcome all the countries. We've had Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, Ghana, which is in South America near Venezuela. And then we've had Mexico, and then Mozambique in Africa near Somalia, and Denmark. And they've all called in. In fact, Daniel was here when my third call from the United Kingdom came in. So
Wales
she does
and England.
verify that we do talk to people from around the world.
Oh, yeah.
We're here as a resource. We're not professional attorneys, but I think we know a lot of things that can help you. Excuse me.
That's true.
So I want you all to know that whatever your case is, we will talk to you. Hi,
Jamalia.
Well, we had someone from Pennsylvania early this morning, my morning show. I wonder if there's a connection there. She ended up talking a lot on the show with texting and so forth. The second way to interact with this podcast is to call in at 626-698-0990. And that is his phone. It'll ring. And if you have something that you like to talk, you will not be on cam, just your voice. You'll be on speakerphone. And you can talk about it on the phone and we can try to help you. The third way is you may not be ready. You may want some time to speak on the show or like to speak on the show. And you can do that by contacting our producer, Grace. She's at grace@vincentwdavis.com. Grace@vincentwdavis.com. And all you do is you ask her to be on one of my 12 podcasts. I'm on 7 days a week, in the morning at 10 a.m. and at night at 7 p.m. That's all Pacific Standard Time for 1 hour each. Now, there's one exception. On Sunday, I come on at 8 o'clock. So that being said,
Pennsylvania is doing her dirty. I didn't even have attorney help. I'm calling you guys. Okay.
Okay,
Awesome.
we will try to get you there really shortly here.
Mhm.
Um, anyway, if you want to be on the podcast,
Great.
say you want to be on the Monday morning show or the Tuesday evening show or what, and Grace will take care of you. Grace will get you on there, and so forth. We have 3 rules to talk about, but maybe if Jamali has something, she can say something more, we can help her. And while she's doing that, I'll talk some more here about our 3 rules. One of the most important rules is that you need an attorney to fight CPS. If some of you think that you can do it without an attorney, good luck. I tried it for a year and a half. I got nowhere. I tried with a court
It's
appointed attorney.
exhausting.
The court appointed attorney is a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
They will not meet with you ahead of time. They don't know family law that well or detention court.
Right.
They are really not your experts to be there. It's different in the criminal court. In the criminal court, you're guilty till you're proven innocent. But in the dependency court, you're guilty till you're proven innocent. And it's sad. And the lawyers that represent you, the dependency court, are terrible. They're friends with the social worker, attorneys, friends with the judge. They're not going to help you. They're going to try to settle it, and you're not going to get what you want. Right. And I'm sad to tell you that. But what I do want to talk is, how do you get an attorney? You say you can't afford one. There is a way. They're called pro bono attorneys. And you can find them, but it's a lot of hard work, a lot of phone calling, a lot of things like that. So what I'm saying to you is that you can the way you arrange your words is how you want to do it. Mm-hmm. So what you need to do is you need to find 10 dependency family law attorneys. Now, this morning, the Pennsylvania woman was saying there's a difference between family law attorneys and dependency attorneys. Well, dependency is the court. Mm-hmm. Family law is the field, which includes dependency, which includes juvenile and
like the area they practice in.
So yeah. So I don't want to say it's different. I'm just saying that family law attorneys do know dependency. Now, that's one of the questions you can ask, because what you're going to do is you're going to put fine in, and you want to list a city that you live in. Let's say it's Erie, and the next biggest city is Cleveland. So Erie, Cleveland, Ohio, a pro bono family law attorney. And a bunch of attorneys will show up. I've already tried this a bunch of times. Mm-hmm. And what you do is you look through them and find out which one of the 10 that closest match what you're looking for. Then you're going to call them. And the purpose you're calling them is to find out if they're in business, if they fought CPS, do they know about dependency court? Are they really pro bono, meaning that they're not going to ask for any money and to help you there? That's what you need to find out. Once you've narrowed it down to 5, you're going to have a consultation with them. And this gentleman that produces this podcast, Mr. Vincent W. Davis, the family law attorney that we have, dependency law attorney, very professional. He's around for over 35 years. He has fought CPS, and he has won, and he's also done civil suits, both federal and state courts against CPS. Mm-hmm. So I'm telling you, if you know what open heart surgery is, that's what CPS is. Yes. You need to have your heart worked on. You're not going to get a layman. You're not going to do it yourself. You're not going to get a plumber or auto mechanic. You're going to get a professional doctor. Same thing goes for the attorney. You want an attorney that knows that area of law, that knows about CPS and fight them and so forth. And you have a hard passion for it. Because you started out with trying to find some pro bono attorneys. Then you got a list of 10. And then you narrowed it down to 5. Now you're making the phone calls. And one of them you can call is Vincent Davis, 888-888-6582. He will gladly help you. He wants to help you. He has a consultation of 30 minutes for $60. That's $2 a minute. He will talk about the strategies of fighting CPS and getting your kids back. So,
so the public attorney left the case. They assigned new one, and she didn't show up to the hearing. The judge is being everything the OCY is assuming on me. So
Yes, I know
yeah.
that. You're very
Yeah.
similar to the woman this morning from Pennsylvania. I've had two people from Pennsylvania,
Oh wow.
um, and it's really, 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 really sad. So going back to this rule number one, make Vincent one of your calls, and if you like him, you can
Mm-hmm.
retain him. And he does fight across the country. He's in Southern California, but he'll fight Northern California, and 2 weeks ago he's in Oklahoma. Last week he was up Northern California, so he will help you, and he's the best around. And do that
Hey Faye.
consultation.
Sorry, there's Faye.
And also, you can see that there's a ticket on the bottom of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
It said consultation with attorney Vincent Davis, care of
Mm-hmm.
Bob Pace,
There's Faye.
Calendly.com. Law
Hi, Faye.
offices Vince VWD
Sorry.
/Bob Pace. Type that whole thing in the internet. That'll take you to the
Mm-hmm.
calendar. And you can set up your appointment for your consultation with him.
There's Face in the room.
Yeah, hey, Faye. Faye came on this morning. She's been under the weather. I'm so glad to have you back, and I hope you're feeling better, Faye. I hope you're feeling better. All right, that's rule number one. Now, Jamalia, do you have a question that you want us to answer? I told you right now you can get an attorney, a pro bono attorney, that will help you. Because let me tell you, CPS is a nightmare. If you've heard the story of Alice in Wonderland,
Mm-hmm.
you are Alice. And
Did you see what the caseworker told her?
And
Jamelia?
I'm sorry, what?
The caseworker told her to get Advil because she had daily headaches, and the caseworker told her to get Advil for him.
Well, then you're going to need to get another caseworker. If that
Mm-hmm.
caseworker is that stupid and rude, you just fire her and get another one. And again, you can go to the top dog. You can go to your director of the CPS there, and you can fight it. You need to complain. Sometimes you may have to go to politicians like senators and representatives to get the politics involved. You have to be proactive. It's so much work. But if you have an attorney, which I did, I got Vincent Davis. He got two of my three kids back. I lost my daughter, but for a year and a half, I tried to fight them, and I got nowhere.
Right.
And so forth. And we got two people. We got Faye. She's from Richmond, Kentucky. And then we have Jamalia, and she's from Erie, Pennsylvania.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Okay. She has a question. My question is, how can I get a new caseworker? They're saying she assigned to my case, and I can't. You just have to push the envelope
until you get the right.
Let me speak to your boss. And if that doesn't go where, you say, let me speak to your boss. You may have to go through 10 bosses, but then you can take a shortcut and go to the director of CPS, the top dog. I did that. I went to the top dog, and I was able to make some changes, but be prepared. They're not going to help you. But your rights is to replace a social worker if you and her are not talking and communicating. Again, if you have an attorney, it'll make your life so much easier. Your attorney can fight and do all that for you. That's what you need. You need that pro bono attorney. So you talk to the supervisor, you very nicely to them, and you ask them, I need to replace my caseworker because we do not see eye to eye. And that's your prerogative. Same thing with your court-appointed attorney. If you don't like the attorney, you can replace them. Same thing goes with the judge. And you go to the judicial and make a complaint. There's a lawyer's complaint and judicial complaint you can go to. And it's on the state webpage of Pennsylvania. But I want you all to think out there, you're dealing with an entity that is so bad. Picture this, 8 social workers with pink T-shirts on, having on front of their T-shirts, professional kidnappers. And on the back, they had parents, you know where your children are. These social workers went out in public, 8 of them, with 25 years of social work. There they are. Danielle's got them out there. They're your average day social workers. And they thought that this was funny. But they were fired, and so was the director. This is in Prescott, Arizona in the year 2022. But I want you all to look at that. That right there is what social workers think of you.
Mm-hmm.
They think you. They're gone. They're expired, and the director was expired. See where it says professional.
Mm-hmm.
Ki- Kidnapper.
Uh-huh.
Professional kidnapper. You
And
see that?
Yep.
That is what they are. So I want you all to keep that in mind, that you're dealing with these individuals. And they think it was funny. They thought it was so funny, but they lost a job. And jobs are hard to come by.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to keep that in mind, especially when you're dealing with the agency that is not transparent. They don't need any kind of a license. They don't need a college education or take, classes in social work. They haven't even taken the parenting classes or the programs that you parents have to take. They need to take those. They need to be mentored. They need to have a license. They need a college degree. They should get a clinical psychology degree and then be a minor in social work. She should get a degree in clinical psychology and a minor in social work before they, work there. They need to be really professionals. They need a license, or a certificate that's renewable every couple of years because they have to take more tests or things like that. Okay, Faye says something. I'm now dealing with some retaliation from CPS to the police harassment with my son. They're trying to shut me up by causing my son to end up in jail. These agencies have to stoop to lowest lows, I swear. Okay. Can you hold down the fort for a second? I'm going to excuse myself for a second, all right?
Yes, that's fine. That's fine. I did look.
Try to help her, right?
So, okay. So with Miss Jamalia, I did do some research about the question you asked about the caseworker. How can you get another one? In Pennsylvania, I did read that it says that you don't have the right to, but you can request one from the supervisor, but they are slim to none if they're granted to get a new one. So in Pennsylvania, you could attempt to file with the supervisor and file a complaint or file something to get, just let them know that you are looking to get a new caseworker or get your case reviewed. But if they are acting in a very negative, rude way and bullying, I would go to even your local senators as well. I do want to put that out there because that is a good starting point too, because it's very, and you will get open up a lot of doors with that and get the attention, because they will contact the department. And but as far as in Pennsylvania, what I'm reading is that it's hard to get a new caseworker assigned to your.
Danielle, we got a call that came in.
Okay.
And your name again is what again?
My name is Emma Festa.
Emma?
Yes.
All right, Emma. And where are you from, Emma?
I'm from Florida.
You're from Florida?
Yes.
Right. And what is your question, Emma?
My question is this. Okay, so I have a CPS case, and the CPS worker were going around talking to the school. My child teacher aide had pulled the social worker aside and said that my child came to school with a black eye, and she never said when he came to school with a black eye, but I know for a fact, I think that if a child comes to school with a black eye, they're supposed to document it, tell the principal, or call the police, or call CPS, which was not done by the aide.
Okay, you're right. When they're a teacher aide is called a professional. She's supposed to call CPS, and say that she observed a child with a black eye. They're supposed to come out and investigate it by asking questions. They'll come and talk to you. They won't take the child yet, but they'll talk to you about how the black eye. Maybe she ran in a doorknob and got the black eye.
Right. And another thing is that my child goes to daycare every single day after school, right after school. And the daycare had been in my child's life ever since he was a baby, like crawling. So I called the director and let her know what the teacher aide had said. I asked her, has she ever seen my son come to daycare with a black eye? Because I never seen him come home with a black eye. And my child's director at the daycare said my child never came to daycare with a black eye.
Okay, so did you ever see your child with a black eye?
Was added to a child abuse. So I already have a case open. Now they added that as child abuse because of the teacher aide said black eye. Now how can I prove that in court that?
Well, what you have to do in court, for instance, did the teacher see your child with a black eye?
My son's school does not have a teacher, and the teacher's out on leave, so it's just aide.
Okay. Does your school, you said something about where she went to daycare. Did the daycare, will they be willing to sign an affidavit saying that your child did not have a black eye?
Absolutely.
Well, that's what you need. You need that affidavit to say that you did. And you're saying your child did not have a black eye. Is your daughter old enough to talk?
My son, he's autistic and nonverbal.
Okay. I'm sorry, your son. So he couldn't say whether he had a black eye or not, right? Take your time. I know this is tough. Take your time.
I know the fact that my child never had a black eye, and the daycare who's been in his life have been in his life ever since he was a baby. And
Okay.
I already have a false allegation about mental health. Someone had did an allegation about mental health, which I already see a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist has said that he do not want to give me no medicine and no therapy. I do not have a mental health.
Okay, let me have you, Danielle. I have to excuse myself for 1 minute. I'll be right back. But Danielle, can you take over and help her here? I'll be right.
Yes, I got you. Yeah. Okay, are you still there? Okay, so I'm here. I'm still here with y'all. So Faye, are you still here with us? Because
I'm going to add myself back on so you can hear her.
Okay. I didn't. Are you still there, hun?
I'm still here.
Okay, so now repeat that last little bit you had just said about, and I heard your son's autistic, and he is you have an open. Go ahead and tell me.
I have an open CPS case. That originally the allegation was that I have mental illness and I am on drugs. And whenever the social worker was talking to the school about me, that's when the aide had came to the social worker and said, I did see her son with a black eye.
The caseworker said that? Like,
no, the teacher aide had told the caseworker that she seen my child with a black eye, so that added child abuse to the allegation.
Did they have any proof of this, like pictures of any?
Absolutely not, because my child goes to daycare every single day after school, and the director, she said she don't mind going against that because my son never went to daycare with a black eye.
Right. Sounds to me like they're trying to just make up information, and like the teacher's aide could be what they consider like a mandated reporter, where they're mandated to report things like that. And you know, proof?
She should have been did that. Like, if you seen that my child came to school with a black eye, I'm pretty sure that it's protocols. You supposed to been notify the principal, I don't know, the police, the DCL, the CPS. You didn't notify nobody until you seen I had an open case of CPS.
Yeah, they're supposed to notify someone immediately if they feel that especially if there's showing signs of harm, you know, like abuse. And I would think if he had a black eye, that would definitely be a need for immediate help. So did she contact them right then and there, or like when did you find out that she had told the caseworker?
Okay, so that's what I was saying. Like, basically that I need to know what's the name of it? Like, what does the director have to do?
What does the director have to do? Say that again. Repeat that again. It was cutting in and out.
Saying that my son never came to daycare with a black eye.
Okay. So, and that's the director of the daycare?
School with a black eye.
What it is, Danielle, the teacher's aide, they don't have a teacher in the classroom. He's a special needs child. And apparently the aide says that he has a black eye. But when the child was taken to daycare, the daycare did not notice a black eye. So I suggested to Emma to get an affidavit. I suggested to you to get an affidavit from the daycare saying that your child did not have a black eye.
Like,
okay, so how do we file that? Is that filed in court?
Yeah,
well,
statement of facts.
It can be filed in court, but you can also give it to the social worker, the CPS worker, because she needs to know that.
And
I would still file it with the courts to have evidence on the case to back up that.
Because we had our first hearing on last Monday, and our court date is in next 2 weeks.
Well, you'll bring it up again in the 2 weeks. You'll bring it up again in 2 weeks. But if you let the CPS worker know that you have a statement from the director, from the individual daycare, she will investigate and talk to the daycare.
Right. Or
now,
even
does your social worker know?
Because they just gave me the petition. Like, I was in court, and CPS gave me the petition that day, 5 minutes before court.
Right. That's typical. That's their MO. That's how bad CPS is. Yeah. And the public defender talks to you the day of your hearing. So that's useless too. So, what you need to do is you need to get yourself a pro bono attorney, a family law attorney. Pro bono means they do without pay.
I can't.
Well,
I gotta do my public defender, and I gotta tell my public defender what to do. Of
course, okay, but with your public defender, if you don't like your public defender, you can get another public defender.
Okay.
So if you want to use the public defender, I tried for a year and a half. I got nowhere until I got an attorney. But I implore you to, because you got to.
My thing is this: all the allegations that they have, like with my mental health. Okay, I got a psychiatrist evaluation. And then when they said about the abuse, okay, I have a witness from the daycare director.
Right.
Did
I
you get
understand
any
how
of
you're
this
fighting,
done on
but
your
I'm
own?
just trying to tell you.
I'm saying that every allegation, I have the evidence to prove it wrong.
Get that submitted into the courts. Get that on your court record. Get that in, because I don't know if your court. I had the problem with my court-appointed attorney not submitting anything for evidence. Get your evidence on record with the courts ASAP. Like anything that you have, get it filed within the courts. Like if you have your own mental health evaluation, anything, because I don't know what your court-appointed attorney is doing, but apparently it's not working in your favor. So get what you can.
Yeah,
anything.
My baby autistic nonverbal, you guys. He never been in foster care. I never had a case in my life. Nobody.
I'm the same.
Wanted to sign up to keep my baby. My baby's autistic nonverbal.
Understood.
My son is.
I understand. Yeah. She has her son.
Is
the
autistic.
lady you're talking to, Danielle, has a son that is autistic and nonverbal, and
I've never had a
special
CPS
need. Mm-hmm. And what she's doing with her son, she's trying to get him back because he's lost in the CPS system. He turned 18, and now he's an adult, so she wants to be a guardian of her son.
Mm-hmm.
Because
and when your child's special needs, when they turn an adult, you have to file for adult guardianship. Everyone that has a special needs or mentally disabled child that turns 18,
when you turn adult, you have to apply for special needs.
My brother is 37, and I had to do it for him as well. So, any.
If I have all the evidence, can I apply for a motion of dismiss?
You can.
You have to go.
It's not called an officer to dismiss. You're talking about a 388 hearing, and you want to change the plan. They've already entered a petition. That's the start of your case.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're going to go to the next hearing, which is your deposition.
Oh, she's going to. Have she already had the adjudication?
No, I
thought. The adjudications.
My next hearing is somewhere A. It's an auditorium, something like that.
Okay, I'm just looking at the flow chart here.
What state is she in?
Let me try to get that. Hold on.
What state is she in? Where are you located again? Florida, right?
She's in Florida. What part of Florida are you in?
I'm in Gainesville, Florida. Where the Gators at?
Okay, Gainesville. Yes, home of the Florida Gators. Yeah.
Where the Gators? That's crazy because I am a special needs teacher. I'm a special needs teacher for autism only.
That's awesome. That's
like how?
Hold on one second, Emma. Hold on 1 second. Hello there. Hello.
Hi, good evening. I was trying to see if I could call.
You can, but I'm on the call. This is Bob. I'm on the call with another person on the show.
I'm sorry. This is Akima. We spoke before.
Right. You can call me back later, but I got someone on the line right now.
Oh, so should I give you 20, 30 minutes?
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Hello, Emma. I'm back again. I had a call come in. I had to talk to them.
I'm sorry.
I'm back. I have my full attention there.
Oh, thank you. I wanted to know because the 3 allegations that I have hard proof of evidence, and when I look at CPS evidence, they don't have anything but the allegations.
Right. But it's not me you have to convince. It's not me. You have to convince the judge, not even the social worker. The judge is you have to convince.
Right. I have the evidence. I have the evidence that I want to send in to the judge because all the allegations, by grace, I have all the evidence of false.
Okay. But in order to do that, you need an attorney. So if you're going to use your public defender, he's the one that's going to enter it in court. You cannot speak to the judge if you have an attorney representing you. You cannot. If you can come to the bench and say, Your Honor, I don't want this attorney anymore. I'm going to defend it myself. That's your choice. You can do so.
Yes,
I'm
I
trying.
have been looking up classes to represent myself. I'm a special needs child. I'm a special needs parent. And I gotta go through this another route. I know I'm not that rich or have that much money to afford me a great attorney. But anyhow, I'm gonna make sure I go really super hard for my special needs child, especially when I have all the hard evidence of all the allegations that is false. I have all the evidence, and I'm ready to present that into court.
Your court-appointed attorney should submit all that.
His communication device. He can't say his wants. He don't know how to change himself. He wear a diaper.
Yes, I understand. I know your frustration.
How so? Your public defender does not work.
When can I file dismissal?
Well, you don't file a dismissal until you do what the case plan is. You can amend the plan, but you're going to have to do parenting classes and programs. And it's a year-long process. Once they get you in, they have to convince the judge that you're guilty of neglect of this child. Okay?
And
if you're not guilty, then they will dismiss the case. So your first step is to convince the court that the child did not have a black eye, and that you're not guilty of neglect to your child.
And you have to get that evidence submitted into courts. And even if your court-appointed attorney ain't doing it for you.
Director of the daycare.
Right. You need to get that sworn statement, or would he come to your court hearing as a witness?
Yes, Reverend.
Would he come as a witness?
Yes, but how can I just subpoena her?
Well, again, that's up to your attorney. You gotta ask him how the subpoena, but you can subpoena him. There's paperwork you have to fill out. But since you're choosing, here's your problem. You can't use a court-appointed attorney some of the time and you some of the time. Either you're going to fight the case, or your court-appointed attorney is going to fight the case, or a lawyer is going to fight the case.
It's either going to be you pro se or your
case.
Right.
All three of you cannot.
Right.
Can I convince my public defender to subpoena my psychiatrist?
Well, as I told you, the court-appointed attorneys I think are worthless, but you can give it a shot. Well,
yeah, I can't afford an attorney, so I got to do what I got to do.
Well, I understand it, but have you tried a pro bono attorney?
And when you have a court-appointed attorney or an attorney on record, that attorney has to be taken off your case for you to be able to represent yourself, and you would have to file that you want to go pro se. But you would have to get that attorney that is on the case taken completely off to be able to move on with any other attorney.
I really want to just really tell my public defender what I want done on my case, and
then you can.
Then trying to do anything.
No, they won't. You don't understand what a court-appointed attorney is. They are a lawyer that just finished law school. They're not very well versed in dependency law, and they have a caseload of 30 people, and they don't have time for individual people. And you're not paying them; they're getting paid by the court, by the county, because you can't afford them, so they're not going to work as hard. If you pay an attorney, you're going to get something done with one. I know that's not the answer you want to hear, and I know that
I would get that evidence submitted into as soon as she can, like whatever evidence she has. If there's nothing,
she can do that, but again, she's not the attorney. She can't submit it to the court. She can submit it to the social worker, but the social worker is going to ignore her.
I would get it on record, and I would tell my attorney, "Well, here, this is your job.
Please enter this attachment as Exhibit A or B or whatever exhibits you've turned in," and then the court-appointed attorney needs to argue the case. That look, Your Honor, this person has the director of daycare. They had no record of the child having a black eye. So now what you're saying is that the teacher's aide is lying. Why would the teacher's aide lie something about this? Why?
I do not know. I know that the person who did the allegation was my sister.
I thought you said that it was a
and-
teacher's aide. See, you're telling me
No,
now.
no.
Okay.
No. Okay, who
The
started the
first
case to begin with the mental health
about
was
your
my
mental health.
sister.
Okay.
Okay, now.
So that's
see,
about your mental health.
To the aide.
Yeah, you see what's happened is you have a layperson
Mm-hmm.
who is very vindictive, who's using CPS for whatever purpose. Is she mad at you, your sister?
Does she want any of your
Yeah,
kids, or
she's
does
mad
she?
at you, and she
Yeah.
wants to hurt you, and she's doing a very good job.
Mhm.
You see, there's two kinds of
I know,
individuals. They're
That's
lay
horrible.
people, and I was hurt by my in-laws. My in-laws were
Me
lying,
too.
and it's really hard because
Yep.
you don't know
I
that.
know
But if you
Sam
know
very
it's your
well.
sister, you can tell your court-appointed attorney that is my sister made these allegations, not the aide. Now, why would the aide make the allegation? Does she have friends of your sister?
No. You guys not understanding. My sister made the allegation for mental health. The aide made the allegation for abuse. The aide and my sister is best friends. They're very close. They're very close.
Okay. See, you have a big problem there.
Oh yeah.
And I'm trying to tell you need to tell your court-appointed attorney, and you need to make that court-appointed attorney work for you. But I don't think they're going to work for you because they're paid very not amount, and they have 30 other cases they have to deal with.
Mhm.
So
Right. If I just do the work and they just submit
no,
it, I'm
you
okay
got to
with
not
that.
only do the work, you got to be the attorney. You got to approach the bench and say, Your Honor, I
You
do
gotta
not
fire
want a
your
court-appointed
attorney.
attorney. I'm going to
File for
defend
pro se.
myself. And then you got to fight it with the legal jargon.
Right.
I don't know how to fight.
And it's
I don't know how to
Well,
fight
that's
it.
why we need attorneys. It's like I tell everybody, if you need open heart surgery, are you going to open up your heart? Are you going to have an auto mechanic open your heart, or a plumber?
Well, honestly, if I need an open heart, it's a lot of free health care out there.
And there's a lot of free attorneys out there. They're called pro bono.
$20,000.
No, I just told you. A pro bono attorney does it for not the money, but
you
to
got to
help.
do the research. You're like,
But you got to
it's
do
not.
the research.
You got to.
Pro bono.
I heard of that.
Yes.
And there's
But I
there's
tried to
a
tell
lot
you
of resources
the
out
thing
there.
about finding an attorney, you got to word your question right. You got to do it
Mhm.
in a certain fashion.
Sorry.
You got to
Mhm.
list the two cities.
Sorry, guys.
The city
You're
in
good. No
Gainesville.
worries.
Is that your
Mhm.
city? Well, that's a pretty big city. So you say, find in Gainesville, Florida, a pro bono family law attorney. Now, if you worded that right, you're going to suddenly see 20, 30 attorneys pop up.
And you
Then
don't
you're
wanna
going to
get
narrow
one
it down
close.
to 10 you're going to call. And one of the first questions you're going to stay out of their mouth is, are you guys in business? Because a lot of them don't have a bono attorney.
Mhm.
3, are you a dependency law, family law attorney? And have you 4, have you done CPS cases? If the answers to those questions are all yes, then that's one of the 5 people you're going to pick. Now, I gave you Vincent Davis, who will talk to you for a consultation for 30 minutes for $60, and he will help you. He will help you. I didn't say you had to hire him, but you're going to call 4 other.
I tried to pay that, but the PayPal says that he's not accepting any more payment.
Well, maybe PayPal's not really good. See,
I tried to pay
Yep.
that.
see,
That-
right now,
PayPal is bad.
yeah, PayPal. He wants to use WhatsApp app, and that doesn't work either.
Oh yeah, no.
I hate that. And so,
There's-
you got to use a credit card or a debit card.
Right, I can pay Davis. I've seen it, but I text him because his PayPal says he can't receive any payment. I wanted to pay the $60.
Well, if you pay the $6 using your credit card at the office, they will take it.
Oh, okay. I thought he only do PayPal.
No,
I didn't know I could
no.
call
I
and
mean,
pay like that.
I know that.
we got
Yeah.
we also got K that said the relationship she forced with the parent is very toxic, very strained, and very dismissive, to the point where my children are upset with me because of the way I talk to grandma. That's what they call the foster parent, but yet there was no reprimand for that in this past Friday. I was informed by an employee of their school that my daughter had an eye that may be infected due to a sty bursting. And when I reached out to the foster mother to ask her about taking my child to receive emergency.
Hello?
Hi, Bob. This is Akima. You guys are reading my comments.
Is that
that
okay to read your comments?
Yes, that's fine. I was actually calling so I could explain to you what
Yeah.
has been going on.
My problem is I got to finish with this caller. I think they went off. Okay. They went off, so I guess you got the phone now.
So, and that's you, KK. I mean, that's you, Mr. You're Miss Richardson?
No, the girl from Florida. Hold on one second. The girl from Florida just hung up. So
Yes, I'm Miss Richardson. Yes.
Okay, that's so. This
the girl
okay.
from Florida in Gainesville, if you still hear us, you can call back in. I'm taking another caller, but we will help you. We'll hope you gave you some ideas. That was Emma in Florida, Gainesville, Florida. Now, what city and state are you from?
I'm from New York, Brooklyn, New York.
Okay, I think you've been on my show before, and your first name again is your first name again is.
I've actually been on all Mr. Davis' platform.
Right. What is your first name?
You can call me KK.
KK. Okay, we have to your listeners. We have KK from Brooklyn, New York, and she has a question. Go ahead, KK.
My question is the foster care agency allowed to suspend visits based on hearsay and not confirming with you and, making it seem like you're harassing the foster parent because you are making wellness checks due to the fact of your electronic communication not being honored on a daily basis?
Well, here's your problem. You're dealing with an agency is corrupt. They don't care about they don't care about your civil rights. They don't care about your constitutional rights. They are corrupt.
Oh, I know that.
So they're going to do anything you can do it. The answer to your question is no, they should not do that. But how do you fight it? The only way you're going to fight it is with an attorney or yourself.
I have an attorney on retainer.
All right. Well, you need to tell.
In a motion.
Yeah, you need to tell your tell your attorney what came down, and you can fight it.
Because they're not supposed to.
Remember, I'm also an attorney, a newly sworn in attorney.
All right.
An attorney.
I'm gonna let Danelle take over for a second.
Okay.
Hold on.
So
I'll back.
Okay. So in your case, in your situation, I read the comment you had said, and they do what they want to do. And do you have like the parenting time that you get, the visitation time that you get? It's court ordered. Am I correct? Or is it? It is. Like,
the problem with that is they constantly negate it. They cancel it. They They
document every time.
And then when I speak out about it, because I have a conflict with this agency.
Yeah.
Every time.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
No, what I'm saying is, with the foster care agency, they were an agency that came in 10 years ago. That I did have a physical altercation with the CPS worker 10 years ago, who is now the director.
Oh, really?
I'm being biased against, and the allegations are mental health, but I have supplied therapeutic documentation. My psychiatrist has testified. It is it's crazy, and now they're at the verge of where they want to terminate my rights because my children are telling them they don't want to see me based on how the conversations or interactions are with the foster parents.
I'm sorry. So the foster parents are probably just brainwashing them and making them. Yeah. I would definitely get your attorney to get what needs to be filed and get that back in front of the judge and document everything that's going on.
Put in a 1028 motion to have the children return to me based on the allegations being false. And
say that
and did not hear our motion.
Say that again. The phone cut out. It cut out. Can you say that one more time?
I said my attorney put in a motion to have the children return back to me based on the allegations being false with the proof I provided. They negated that and basically said, because I am incessantly calling the police for wellness checks, that I am harassing the foster parent and I am traumatizing the children. And at this point, they no longer want contact with me until the next court date, where it is for fact finding, and also they put in a motion for a TPR.
Really? Wow. I would motion to I would get your attorney to motion to see with the kids to see if they can prove it. Tell them they should be able to prove that you're doing. I mean, that's what is it to get a welfare check. But my thing is the whole deal is with the kids. Are the kids really feeling this way? Have they got that on record that the kids
like when we have visits with the family, they're good.
Yeah, I would definitely get that on record that he, I mean, I would definitely, sorry, I would definitely get that on record and see about the kids. Like, if you can prove that it's false and what they're saying, and the kids are not acting like that and scared of you, I would get your attorney to.
My 11-year-old is like extremely manipulative. Both my children suffer with mental illness. The foster parent has restricted their medication. She has restricted communication with their clinicians when all my rights are intact, but yet I am the one that does treatment plans. I'm the one that does the
Have you ever did a bonding study?
I requested a bonding study. They denied it, but I've done 2 in the 491 days my children have been removed. I've done 2 where I paid out of pocket, and the study shows that it is more of a harm to remove them based on the relationship that we have. And it's like, I must be living in a twilight zone, because the foster care agency, I'm the foster parent, allowed their father and stepfather to come in and have access while evading the law with 7 warrants on a murder charge from another state.
Wow.
And we have a criminal case in court, which, because my 11-year-old is not his biological child, legally the criminal order trumps the family court order based on them having no biological connection. I know that. So when I reached out to the foster care agency and expressed it to them, they basically said I was restricting communication and displaying parental alienation. And they restricted my visits from 4 days a week to 1 day for 2 hours, if that.
So they lowered your visitation time, and has it always been like supervised on the visits?
No, actually, I had resources, that were on my part, as far as like maybe friends that could have been cleared. And you cannot possibly tell me, ma'am, and Mr. Pace, that you cannot be cleared. Your NYPD, your FDNY, your DOE, and I have another person that is an ex-school safety agent who is a foster parent with an open home, also is a current CPS worker and my children's godmother, and lives downstairs, which is convenient and, a familiar environment to my children, instead of uprooting them from all the familiarity, because they have special needs and do not adapt well to, transitioning to different tasks or communities. And I've expressed that to them, that this is a manifestation of their disability, and they negated that and basically said, was I being erratic because I wasn't getting my way?
No. Okay. And so when you asking them and showing them this stuff, can these people, like the one you just mentioned, can they witness on your behalf and what it can help with the children, and what they think would, can they talk on it's kind of like a character witness
and the foster care agency, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm just like so frustrated. The foster care agency, as well as the children's attorney, are under the impression that because these people live in my community, they live too close and can be easily manipulated to leave me with the children unsupervised. But honestly, I didn't have supervision when the case opened in September of 23, all the way till February 8th of 2024.
So why is this supervision now?
Oh, because my daughter had an outburst on Labor Day where the visit was supposed to be supervised by an aunt from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And at 3:50, myself and my aunt reached out to the foster parent and asked her was she en route to pick the children up. She in turn, and I quote, "Take the children to your house and I will pick them up from there." this was honestly the 10th visit that the foster parent had left me unsupervised with my children because she knew I wasn't a danger. And then when this one incident happened, like I said, the visit was to be concluded at 4 p.m. My children were not picked up until 10:30 p.m. that night. Nobody reprimanded this foster parent. My visits got, instead of it going from 16 hours a week, it went to 2 hours supervised at the agency where we already have on court documentation that it agitates my PTSD based on the events that have happened there and the removals that have happened there. So is there a way we can meet in the community to make sure that my anxiety or my PTSD are not aggravated to the point where I cannot parent safely? I don't think that's fair.
And that's not,
No.
that's definitely not, I would get.
And I have a lawyer on retainer. I have a great lawyer. It's just like, these lawyers don't have the dates where they can meet and have, the same, communication on these days. It's like, if the children's attorney is not free this day, then we have to wait another month and another month.
Right.
I went through 3 public defenders before I got to this fourth attorney, and my clock is running out.
Right.
Yeah.
And well, with you having an attorney on, like your attorney, that they should, like have they got caught up with the case and like they're better understanding it?
Very good. And it's like, anytime that she advocates on my behalf for the things that are being, told and that are not confirmed or not true, instead of them rectifying it or getting their proof, what they do is they minimize the concern and they flip it on me and say, well, your relationship with your children is deteriorating and the children are destabilizing. But yet every service that they have right now up until today, I have implemented and advocated for. Any service that I have requested or have done my own footwork for, and all they had to do was put their John Hancock, and because they were like stagnant in that, I lost my referral or I lost my slot. They negate everything positive that I request for my children's well-being because they confuse my passion with aggression.
And they will try to play games that way as well. But there is a lot of resources out there that will help, like with parenting class you can do on your own. A lot of, and then
I did everything with Erica. I did it with Erin Carranza. I did 3 months of coaching and reunification with her online. I completed my classes because I did that on my own prior to them asking me to be involved in service. I have always been in therapeutic service because I have a mental health diagnosis. My children as well have been, and I'm on medication, always have been, supplied compliance letters and in reference to my children.
Have you ever created a parenting plan? Have you ever created a plan that you yourself?
I lost your voice.
I'm sorry. A parenting plan. The touch screen. It's not no good.
Oh yes, I have a parenting plan. I have a safety plan.
And you created those yourself.
That I'm working and identifying my problems. I have identified my triggers and used my coping skills to minimize the toxicity and the safety concerns. I have tried
how you're going to get the kids to their treatments.
Were in agreement, but the children's attorney was not in agreement.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to have to cut it short here because we're getting close to the end of the show. I do want to say, don't go yet. Rosemarie Lombardo, I know tomorrow's Mother's Day, and you can't be with your 3-year-old daughter. I had some cake with her and gave her gifts. She's 3, and I pray for her daily. Well, Rosemarie, I feel for you. I don't know what city or state you're from, but I'll be on again tomorrow on Mother's Day at 8 in the morning. I don't want to wish all your mothers
Pacific time or Eastern Standard Time?
Pacific Standard Time. I want to wish all the mothers out there happy Mother's Day. Don't give up on your children. No. They are precious. They love you dearly. It's sad because Sunday is a day that children should be with their mothers. And so I have knowledge firsthand that that some of my children will not be with her mother, which is sad because my wife has 3 children that have alienated from her of her older children because of CPS. And it's really, really hard.
I have stage 4 cancer, and they told me if I declined their visits to go to chemo, then I'm neglecting my responsibility as a parent.
I know.
So I'm not
They are
healthy enough.
They're
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I feel for you, but I want to thank all of you. I want to thank.
Tomorrow, Bob. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, KK, thank you. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Kay Richardson. I'm so glad that you came back and talked. Happy Mother's Day,
Happy
Rosemary.
Mother's Day to everyone.
And you can stay on for a second, Danielle. We'll talk a little
Okay.
bit there. I want to thank Jamie Jamelia from Pennsylvania, who talked a bit and so forth. And so, good night. I'll see you all tomorrow
Good night,
at
everyone.
8 o'clock in the morning. Happy Mother's
I will
Day.
be on, so I can't wait. Thank you, guys.
You
Have a
got